Each of you is part of our Vincentian mission and tradition by being here today. It is our hope that you will think about the Vincentian question of what must be done. And as you begin to live into this question rooted in service and systemic change from your time here at DePaul and moving forward in your life. Today, you'll be invited into different communities across the city to be aware and connect. Our Vincentian legacy of service reminds us that we are there to learn, to be present, and to recognize and uplift the sacred gifts of the Chicagoland communities. Our Vincentian legacy of service also invites us to recognize whose land we are on, as a way of honoring the indigenous peoples who currently reside and have been living and working on the land from time immemorial.
At DePaul University, we acknowledge that we live and work on traditional native lands that are home to well over 100 different tribal nations. We extend our respect to all of them, including the Potawatomi, Ojibwe, and Ottawa nations, who signed the Treaty of Chicago in 1821 and 1833. We also recognize the Ho-Chunk, Mi'kmaq, Menominee, Illinois Confederacy, and Peoria people who also maintain relationships with this land. We acknowledge that these sacred homelands were ruptured by the European invasion of the Americas. In 1493, Pope Alexander VI promulgated the Doctrine of Discovery, which seized native lands out throughout the Americas and resources with impunity. This doctrine has been used by countries throughout the Americas, including the U.S., to legitimize colonial policies of displacement and genocide toward native peoples and to justify colonial legacies of white superiority and local capitalism. We appreciate that today, Chicago is home to the 6th largest urban Native population in the United States. We further recognize and support the enduring presence of Native peoples among our faculty, staff, and student body. And in the spirit of St. Vincent de Paul, we reaffirm our community, both as an institution and as individuals, to help make our community and our society a more equitable, welcoming, and just place for all.
Before we send you out to your service sites, we have a few people who would like to share a few words with you. Join me in welcoming Dr. Gabriel Esteban, President of DePaul University.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 24th Annual Vincentian Service Day. We're so happy that we can be in person. The last 2 years have been really, really challenging. And for those of you who were involved the last 2 years, thank you. Who's going to the home for the elderly? Which group? Normally, Joe and I go to the home for the elderly. We've done it last 4 years, including the cards last year. Let's give a big hand first and foremost to the Division of Mission and Ministry. They helped organize this year's event, and it's been a challenge since we're not used to being in person. And I want to thank everyone who's here with us for your patience and your determination to uphold our Catholic Vincentian mission. This has been a great tradition for our institution, and Joe and I look forward to this every year. We always enjoy connecting with our students, our staff, our faculty, and this year we have over 200 alumni who are also participating. And the alumni are not only here. Joe and I have been visiting our alumni all around the country, from Florida to San Francisco to places in between. And all the alumni chapters also do Vincentian Service Day today. So just because you graduate doesn't mean you can't participate in Vincentian Service Day. You are Vincentians in action, and you're doing exactly what St. Vincent and St. Louis were doing almost more than 400 years ago today. They gathered as a community, and they worked with those who were marginalized. They recognized the dignity and sacredness of every single person. Then they reflected on what they learned. St. Vincent and St. Louis would be honored to know that you continue their tradition of service. Thank you again for everything you do to uphold our Catholic Vincentian mission, and thank you for everything you do for DePaul. Congratulations, and I'll see you later.
President Esteban for joining us on Vincentian Service Day every year during your time at DePaul and for those insightful words. Our next speaker today is Cameron Lafleur, who is a senior studying secondary education English language. Let's give a warm welcome to Cam.
Good morning. It's great to see so many students, staff, and faculty here for Vincentian Service Day. I can't lie, I'm a bit nervous because I've never spoken in front of this many people before. I'm used to classes full of high school kids and lounges full of chatty teachers. But now that I mentioned it, I'm not so nervous anymore. I remembered that I'm amongst friends. Today, we've all gathered in the name of service and solidarity. You chose to spend one special Saturday in May giving back, and I wanted to personally thank you for your presence here today. Although I'm graduating next month and I'm very excited, these final weeks have been no cakewalk for me. My commute to my student teaching school is an hour and a half away by CTA. I don't get to spend as much quality time with my friends as I would like, and remaining creative and optimistic in my spare time, especially at night, is a challenge. I also feel a bit isolated at my student teaching school as well. I don't feel like I connect with the current teachers, and I find myself eating and working alone most of the day. I get on the bus to head back to campus and I ask myself the same questions. What have I done that matters, and with who and how do I connect? Thankfully, last Thursday, a great answer came my way. One of my cooperating teachers, Mr. H, told me that I was doing great in the classroom, but that I had to step off my island to collaborate and get to know my colleagues. Since that day, my school environment has turned into a place of joy and comfort, and this positive outlook has begun to seep into other facets of my life as well. His advice was so simple and applicable that I wanted to share that same message here with you today. As we go out into our city to serve, look for ways to step off your island. Smile with sincerity and gratitude, speak with kindness and love, and act in accordance with the wisdom that lies within your heart and your spirit. St. Vincent dedicated his life to service, but it all just starts one day at a time. Happy Vincentian Service Day.
Thank you, Cam, for your words of wisdom rooted in our Vincentian legacy. Speaking of which, we have two experts on the Vincentian tradition here to speak with us. I'm pleased to introduce everyone to St. Vincent DePaul and Louise Marianne.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, look at this crowd. For those of you who don't know, I'm Louise the patron saint of social work, and I am so excited to see everyone here this morning. Here with me is my friend, Vincent DePaul.
Wow, Louise. Look at all of the students here gathered today, connected to the work that we started over 400 years ago.
Exactly. You began this work on January 25th, 1617 in the small town of Fulville, France. Did you ever imagine that it would become one of the largest networks of service and systemic change?
Wow, Louise, that really is incredible. A network raising up how service and systemic change is done in community, not alone. Louise, you seem to know a lot about Vincentian Service Day. Tell me, how is this community striving to stay true to the heart of the Vincentian mission?
What these students are doing here today is carrying on the work that we started in France as we first see the dignity and sacredness in each person. We see service as a communal act, done together, and we strive to uplift the gifts of all communities, being faithful to reality and responding in new creative ways.
Wow. Louise, what these students are doing here today is answering the Vincentian question, what must be done? As they learn and join communities and community work being done with DePaul partners across the Chicagoland area. I'm glad that you're all gathered here today to carry on that legacy. It's astonishing to see that this mission is still alive 405 years later.
Thank you, dear family. for keeping the Vincentian legacy alive through your presence at VSD. Vincentian Service Day is just one step towards living the Vincentian legacy, lived out already by so many of you in your families, communities, classes, and campus involvement.
We hope that you take time today to be present to the people that you meet, to be open to learning about and seeing the dignity in all stories and communities you encounter today. We hope today inspires you to continue to act for service and justice long after this day is done. I'm so proud that you're all taking the Vincentian mission to heart. Thank you for uplifting the gifts of the communities that we enter today.
As I always say, go serve with joy, courage, constancy, and love. DePaul community, are you ready to keep the Vincentian mission alive? Thank you for living the legacy today.
Thank you, Vincent and Louise. We now invite our mission and ministry staff to lead us in a time of prayer and reflection before we go out to our service things.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, now come on now. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. That's better. It's so good to see all of you out here this morning. Thank you so much for getting up early and joining us. We know that it shows your deep commitment to the things that you believe and the ways that you want to enact them in the world. Whatever is driving you, whoever you pray to, whoever you listen to, whatever ancestors and spirits are with you this morning, whether the ethics you've brought, whatever you've been taught that makes you have a deep commitment to service. We are grateful for the things that ground you and that brought you here with us this morning. We gather here today for service. We gather here today to continue to explore and seek ways towards justice. As Vincent DePaul said, let us love God. Let us love God, but let it be with the strength of our arms and with the sweat of our brows. I love this quote. Let your love and your beliefs be actionable. Let your prayers be your movements through the world. We come together today as a Vincentian community at DePaul University, a diverse community made up of people of many different faiths and spiritual traditions, dedicated to justice, to service, and to relationship with others. As we prepare to head our separate ways all around the city, we ask that you all keep these things in mind and continue to reflect on how we are honored to bring you all out into the city to represent our university. Please be grounded by these words and prayers brought to you by the rest of our mission and ministry staff.
In the Jewish tradition, there is little separation between prayer and action. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, after marching with Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., said, "For many of us, the march from Selma to Montgomery was about protest and prayer. Legs are not lips and walking is not kneeling. And yet our legs uttered songs. Even without words, our march was worship. I felt my legs were praying." Prayer is not simply words with God. It is also the work we do to make God's values tangible or real in the world. The following blessing commands us to pursue tzedek, or justice. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lirdof tzedek. We praise you, eternal God, ruler of the universe, who calls us to holiness through mitzvot, commanding us to pursue tzedek, justice.
In a verse of the Quran that Muslims around the world hear repeated many Fridays, God says, "Inna Allah ya'muru bil adli wal ihsani wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahisha wal munkari wal baghi ya'idhukum la'allakum Surely God commands justice, the doing of beautiful goodness, and giving to those who are near. And he forbids what is shameful, blameworthy, or oppressive. He teaches you that perhaps you will be reminded. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, Ahabu nasi ilallahi anfa'uhum. The most beloved of people to God are those who are most beneficial to others. May we be a benefit to others, and may we strive to bring justice and beautiful goodness wherever we go. Amen.
In the name of the Creator, the Redeemer, and the Sanctifier. From the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 3 through 10. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe, ruega por nosotros. Saint Louise de Maryland, pray for us. Saint Vincent de Paul, pray for us. Amen.